In this video, I guide you through the step-by-step process of creating a Halloween quiet book for toddlers, a fantastic idea for a handmade gift. Together, we'll craft pages featuring a ghost, pumpkin, bat, spider, and potion cauldron. With the help of easy-to-follow patterns linked in the description, this project becomes simple and fun. So let's get started. We will need stiff felt, scissors, vanishing markers, clips, velcro tape, hole punch, invisible foil, small beads, tool, baton, cotton string, magnetic clasp, mullein, and shoelace. Prepare patterns of a title Halloween book base page and cut them out. In this pattern, make holes in the places of dots. Then place it on felt in orange, violet, black, dark blue and grey felt. Draw a dot in the place of this hole and outline its shape with vanishing marker. At the end, cut it out. At the end of our work, we will make a hole in the place of these dots, so remember not to sew any elements in this place. In the next step, prepare the second pattern. Place it on velcro tape and cut out its shape. We will need 11 elements with a loop side and 8 elements with a hoop side. Now prepare violet base page you made earlier and patterns titled Ghost Page Part 1 and 2 and cut them out. In this pattern, cut also the inner shape. Place these patterns on right color of felt, outline outer and inner edges with a vanishing marker, then cut them out along the drawn lines. To make small or complex felt elements, especially in dark color, you can use interfacing fabric with glue. It will be much easier. How to do it step by step is shown in another video. The link is at the top of the screen. This pattern place on invisible foil and cut out its shape. It doesn't have to be very precise. Place foil under the hole, fasten it with clips, and sew both elements along the edge of the circle with white thread. Next, turn it over and cut off excess foil along the seam line. In the next step, take this pattern, place it on white elements so that their upper edges overlap, and draw shapes of eyes with vanishing marker. I will embroider it with black mulling. How to make it step by step I showed in another video. The link you will find at the top of the screen. You will also draw it with fabric marker. Below the eyes, place smile and cheeks and sew each one along the edge with pink and black thread. In the center of the pink element, place velcro with a loop side and sew it along the edge. The bottom thread should be pink. Then turn it over. Place ghost on it and fasten it with clips. We will start sewing from this point. Stop here, insert small beads with a diameter of 1 mm, then continue sewing to the place where we started. The upper thread is white and the lower thread is pink. Finally, cut off excess fat along the edge of the ghost. In the next step, place ghost in the center of the base page and draw the place where Velcro touches the base page. Then place Velcro with a hoop side here and sew it on. Now place pumpkin tails under orange elements and fasten it with clips. Then place pumpkins, small ghost and bat around the ghost and sew each one along the edge with black, white and orange thread. On top, place eyes and mouth. They are so small, so I will sew them by hand. For me, it will be easier. If you want, you can of course sew it on the machine. The last elements place here. I will sew them on the machine. At the end, I will embroider pumpkin noses with black mulling using French knot method. At the top of the screen you will find video where I explain how to make it step by step. If you prefer, you can also draw nose with fabric marker. In this stage, take grey base page and patterns titled Pumpkin Page Part 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and create felt elements based on them. Notice that each smile corresponds to a specific element on the bottom. First, take orange element, place it on the base page. There is 22 mm from the bottom edge. We will start sewing from here to this place. At the beginning and end of sewing, sew forward and back and repeat 3 times. the next step, prepare these patterns and make holes in the places of these 5 dots. Then place patterns on felt elements so that they overlap and draw dots in the places of holes. Then place Velcro with a loop side in the places of dots of rectangle elements and Velcro with a hoop side in the place of this dot. Then sew them on. In this case, the lower thread should be orange. Next, turn square elements over. Place smiles on top and sew along the edge. Remember to match the color of the lower thread to the color of the felt. Finally, cut off excess felt along the edge of the smiles. Now prepare nose, place it on orange element, 46 mm from the upper edge, then place eyes on the sides and sew each one with black thread. The bottom thread is orange. Green tail place on orange element in this way and fasten it with clips. Then place everything in the center of the base page. Fasten it with clips on the sides. Then sew only the tail with green thread. The last element place in the left corner and sew it on.
Now we will make spider page, so prepare base page pattern again, orange base page and these patterns to create felt elements. In the center of the base page, place violet circle and sew it on. Place this pattern on tool and cut out its shape with a margin of about 2 cm. It doesn't have to be very precise. Then place tool on the creamy element to cover the hole and fasten it with clips. Then place it in the center of the base page. We will sew only the inner edge starting from this point. Stop here, insert small button with a diameter of 50 mm. Then continue sewing to the place where we started. In the next step, cut off excess tulle along the seam line. Finally, we can sew the outer edge of the spider web. In the next step, draw lines connecting the protruding points with a vanishing marker. I will now sew along them on the machine with white thread. Place base page on orange thread and sew along the edge. The upper and lower threads are orange. Now cut off excess thread along the base page. Place eyes, smile and cheeks on black element and sew each one on the machine. In the center of the black circles, I will embroider twinkles in the eyes with white mulling in the same way as before. Take legs, place it under the body and fasten it with clips. In the next step, prepare string 36 cm long, put it under the spider in this way and fasten it with clips. Prepare piece of black felt and place spider on it. We will start sewing from here, about 3 mm to the right of this end of string. Stop here, about 3 mm to the right of the end of this string, and in the same on the left, from here to this place that the string can move freely. At the beginning and end of sewing, sew forward and back and repeat 3 times. The upper and lower threads are black. And now please cut off excess felt along the edge of the spider body. Take this pattern, place it on the base page so that they overlap, and draw dot in the places of these 2 holes with vanishing marker. Then make holes here with a hole punch, choose the largest size. In the next step, insert the ends of the string through the holes. At the end of the strings, make a loop. And cut off the ends. Prepare hot glue and glue the ends of the string to yellow circles. Place circles under the star and fasten it with clips. Prepare 2 pieces of yellow felt, place star on it, and sew along the edge. The upper and lower threads are yellow. Do it again on the other side. At the end, cut off excess thread along the edge of the stars. Prepare a dark blue base page and patterns with the title Bud Page Part 1, 2 and 3 and create thread elements based on them. Place clouds on the base page in this way and sew them on. In these two patterns, make holes in the places of dots. Place patterns on yellow and gray elements and draw dots in the places of holes. In the place of this dot, we will attach a magnetic clasp. Prepare first pair of magnetic clasps with a plate and a thin element with a convex surface. Also take wallpaper knife and a cutting mat. Place the plate here so that its hole lines up with a dot you draw earlier. Then with a disappearing marker draw two lines along the side holes. In the next step, make cuts with a knife along these lines. Now take an element with a convex surface and insert its arms into the holes. Next, lay the plate on it and bend the arms outwards. In the place of this dot you drew earlier, place Velcro with a loop side and sew it on. In the next step, place wings under the body and fasten it with clips. Now put face elements on the head and sew each one on the machine. Now I will embroider twinkles and cheeks with black and pink mulling with French knot method in the same way as before. Place head on the body and sew only from here to this place. Turn it over, place bud on it and sew along the edge with black thread. The bottom thread is gray. Now please cut off excess thread along the edge of the bud. Place bud in the center of this element and draw the place where Velcro touches the yellow circle. Then place Velcro with a hoop side here and sew it on. Turn this element over, place circle in the center and sew along the edge. The upper and lower threads are yellow. Now please cut off excess felt along the edge of the circle. Place ready element in the center of the base page and draw the place where a magnetic clasp touches the base page. In the place of this dot, we will attach the second pair of magnetic clasp consisting of a plate and the second element with a flat surface, in the same way as before. The last one will be the cauldron page, so please take black base page and these patterns and create felt elements. First, take violet element, place it on the base page 20 mm from the bottom edge and sew along the edge. Gray element place on top, about 7 mm from the bottom edge and sew along the edge. Take next 7 elements, put them on the base page just like me and sew each one along the edge, matching the color of the thread to the color of the felt. On each bubble, place Velcro with a hoop side and sew them on. In the center of the square elements, place Velcro with a loop side and sew it on. Turn square elements over, place circle in the center and sew along the edge. Remember that the upper and lower threads are the same. In the next step, cut off excess felt along the edge of the circles. Next, take these two elements, place flame here. We will start sewing from here to this place. At the beginning and end of sewing, sew forward and back and repeat 3 times. Place the last elements on top and sew each one along the edge. Now I will embroider twinkles in the eyes with French knot method with black muslin. Place ready element here. We will start sewing from here to this place. At the beginning and end of sewing, sew forward and back and repeat 3 times. At the end, take all the base pages except the spider page because it's finished and place them on felt in the same color. And sew along the edge. Remember that the upper and lower threads are the same. Now please cut off excess felt along the edge of the base page. In the place of doll that you made at the beginning of our work, make a hole with a hole punch. Choose the largest size, mine is 5 mm. Finally, arrange all the pages as you want it to be and thread shoelace through each hole. Then tie a bow and it's ready. Thank you very much for watching. Do you like this project? Please let me know in the comment. I will be very grateful for your likes and feedback. If you would like to make other books, click on these videos. Have a nice day. Bye bye!